I'm Anil Kumar. Welcome to my series on ratios. In this video, we have taken 6 examples with ratios relating 3 numbers or 3 quantities. Question number 1 here is, write the missing term. 1 is to 2 is to 3 equals to something is to 10 is to something. We need to figure out these two values. We need to find these values by using a scale factor. That is the key. Scale factor is a number which relates the ratio. Now here we'll see the corresponding position of the middle term which is given to us. 2 is to 10. That means it is times 5. The scale factor here is 5. To get the other terms, what are we going to do? We are going to multiply them by 5 and place, right? So 1 times 5 and 3 times 5 will be placed. So 1 times 5 is 5, 3 times 5 is 15. So that is how we are going to get the corresponding numbers. Do you see that part? So I hope the steps are absolutely clear. Now with this in mind, I'd like you to pause the video, answer these questions. So basically, you need to find the scale factor. In part B, 2 is to 5 is to 3 is something is to something is to 12. We are given corresponding positions for the last digits, which are 3 and 12, the scale factor being 4. So we need to multiply each term by 4 to get the right hand side. So 4 times 2 is 8 and 4 times 5 is 20. So that is how you can solve such questions. Is that clear? These two are your practice questions. You can pause the video and then answer. Now let's see. 3 is to 9 is given to us. So we'll get from 3 to 9 by times by 3. So we could do rest also using the same thing. So we can times each by 3. Let me write, something is missing here, so I'm writing a number 15 here, okay. So we'll write 4 times 3, the last digit, which is 12, right? So we'll just multiply by 3. Now in this case, what we have done here is we are given you a number in between on the right side. How do you get the number on the left side? Well, we have to do reverse operation. So moving in this direction will mean you need to divide by 3 this time. So dividing by 3 gives you 5 as your answer. Well, you can always check 5 times 3 is 15. So that is correct. Clear? Now, let us see how to do the next question. Now here again, we will now place some number x here this time, okay? So I'm not writing any number, but I'm just writing a variable x. But the number given to us is 2 and 6. From 2, we can get 6 if I multiply by 3. So we can multiply 5 by 3 and get the number 15. However, to get the number on the left side, if x is some number on the right side, what are we going to do? We are going to divide by 3, right? So this number is after division by 3. So the number here should be x divided by 3. Is that clear to you? So that is how you should be solving such questions. Is that clear? Let's move forward and take slightly difficult questions on similar background. Here in question number 2, we have very similar situation as we had in the previous one. However, there is a difference. We are saying 4 is to 6 is to 10 is equal to something is to 9 is to something else. Now, how do I get from 6 to 9? That is slightly difficult. It's not a whole number. It is 1.5 times. Okay. So in such situations, the idea is to simplify the ratio, right? So we'll simplify the ratio. So you could think like simplifying this to, you can divide them all by 2, right? So you can actually write down the left side as 2 is to 3 is to 5. Does it make sense to you? So we could do that. And now on the right side, we can get the missing numbers. Does it make sense to you? Well, once we have done this simplification, we know that going from 3 to 9 is times 3. So we could do times 3 for these two numbers and get the result. 2 times 3 is 6 and 5 times 3 is 15. Perfect. So those are the numbers which could take this place. So 6 and 15 are the other two numbers. Is that clear? So at times you may have to simplify. Now let's look into the next one. Here 25 is to something is to 10, and we have two blanks here, 18 and 12. Now how do we relate them? Well, we are given one relation which relates 10 and 12. Well, it is 1.2 times. You could do 1.2 and you could divide by 1.2 and get the result. However, easier method is that we could simplify this, right? So we could write this as 5 is to something is to 5 times 2 is 10. Correct? 5 times 2 is 10, right? So we could do that. And then we can find a relation and get the number which is missing here, right? So that is key to solve such questions. Perfect. So let's do this. Now in this case, we'll do it in two steps. We are given 18 and 12. We need to figure out this number. Now, from 2 to 12, we are doing times 6, right? So we could do 5 times 6 to get this number. 5 times 6 is 30. So we get this number. So we have the right side, which is 30, 18, and 12. Perfect. Now, we need to find what should get into this position. Well, we'll go two steps. First, from 18 to this position, we have to divide by 6. So if I divide by 6, I do get 3. Correct? Now we have to fill in the number at this position. And these numbers are, from here if you go up, we have to multiply by 5. So the number which goes in here should be 15. So that is kind of tricky. Do you see how we worked backwards to get our number? 15. Well, that is the way it could be done, right? Well, if you're working with calculator, you could do straight, which is 25 is to something is to 10 is equal to something is to 18 is to 12. And we figure out that going from here to this place is times 1.2. And returning will be divide by 1.2. So if you do that, you get the answer which we got, 15 and 30 also. So that becomes an alternate method. Is that okay? However, we prefer to work with whole numbers, not with the decimal numbers, talking about ratios. Clear? Okay. Now let's take up question number 3. So we have some word problems here. $540 is distributed among Anil, Ben and Cindy in the ratio of 2:3:4 respectively. Find the amount received by Ben. So here we are given that Anil is to Ben is to Cindy. They get some amount in the ratio of 2:3:4, right? So total amount is given to us. Total amount is 540. So whenever total amounts are given in the ratios, we should find the total of the ratio also, right? So 2 plus 3 is 5 plus 4 is 9. Do you see that? Now look here. How are these totals related? We have to see the relation between these totals. That will give you a hint of the amounts which should come in these places. Correct? So 9 times what is 540? That is what we are looking into. Correct? So we are saying 9 times x is 540. This value x is 540 divided by 9, which is 60. So in this fashion, this value x is 60, right? So the scale factor here is 60. So that means if I multiply each one of them by 60, I'll get these amounts. So let's do it. So 60 times 2 is 120. 60 times 3 is 180. 60 times 4 is 240. So these are the amounts which they are going to get, and you can check that this total is 540, right? So we want to find how much will Ben get. Ben will get $180. So our answer is $180 for Ben. Is that clear? So that is the kind of approach you can take to solve such questions. Perfect. Have a good look at it. We are going to do similar questions. Here is another question. We are saying, question number 4, side lengths of a triangle are in the ratio of 1:2:3. Find the length of the longest side if the perimeter is 24 centimeters. Right. So we are given the lengths in the ratio of 1:2:3. Right. So let's multiply each by x to get perimeter of 24. Now perimeter equals to 24. That means sum of all three sides. Is 24. Now, what are the actual lengths? So if I multiply, they will be 1 times x is to 2x is to 3x, correct? So the perimeter will basically be sum of these three, that is to say, x plus 2x plus 3x is equal to 24, correct? So 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6. So 6x is equals to 24. X is 24 divided by 6, which is 4, right? So x is 4. We need to find length of longest side, which is of course 3x, correct? So if I substitute x equals to 4, what do I get? I get 3 times 4, which is 12, right? Units will be centimeters. So we get our answer, that is the longest side will be is 12 centimeters long. Is that clear to you? So that is how we are going to solve such questions. Perfect. Question number 5. A fertilizer contains nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium in the ratio of 8:5, 7:5. Calculate the mass of each ingredient in a bag of 50 kilogram fertilizer. So we are given nitrogen, let's say nitrogen, is to phosphorus, is to potassium, let's say K, right? So these are the three things. Their ratios are 8:7:5. We're given total, right? So let's talk about total now. So total is 50, right? So total is 50. But what is the total of these three? Well, 7 plus 5 is 12, plus 8 is 20. Correct? So that means, what is the scale factor? So the scale factor here is 50 divided by 20, or 5/2. So we have to multiply each quantity by 5/2. Do you see that? So once you do that, you get the scale factor and then the quantity of each, right? So let's do 5/2 for each. So if I divide by 2 first, 4 times 5 is 20 or 40 by 2. You can write this as 40 by 2. We can write this as 35 by 2 and this is 25 by 2. The units are kg for each. Is that clear? Or we can say 20 kg for nitrogen. This is half of 17.5 kg of phosphorus and 12.5 kg of potassium. Is that clear? So that becomes our answer. So I hope these steps are absolutely clear. So first thing, find the scale factor and then multiply by scale factor to get your result. The last question here is, a bag contains oranges, apples and bananas in the ratio of 3 to 4. So we have oranges, apples and bananas and their ratios is 3 is to 2 is to 4. Find the number of fruits in the bag. We want to find what is total, right? If it has 2 dozen, so 2 dozen means what? 2 dozen bananas means 24, right? In numbers. So the scale factor is 4 times 6, right? So we could divide 24 by 4 to get 6 as our scale factor. So that is key. Find the scale factor. Once you have that, then just multiply by 6 to get the other values. Is that clear to you? So 6 times 3 is 18 and that is 12 and those are the numbers. We need to find the number of fruits. So total number of fruits will be will be 18 plus 12 plus 24, correct? Which is 8 to 10 and 4, 14, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 54 fruits. Is that clear? So that is how we are going to solve questions relating to ratios and where we have 3 quantities as we have seen in the last example or earlier 3 numbers. I hope that helps. Feel free to write your comments, share your views and if you like and subscribe to my videos, that'd be great. Thanks for watching and all the best.